Hello and welcome everybody. Today I have invited a very dear friend of mine, Dr. Aadila Pretorius, who is a traditional and mental health expert. And the purpose of taking her board today that we're going to discuss about hypnotherapy. And that's a general perception about hypnotherapy that would go to the hypnotherapist and he would try to find out about our past history and stuff like that. And people, they never thought about it that, we could talk about it differently and it has a lot more benefits as well. If I just share a research with you of Dr. Andrew D. Huberman, an American neuroscientist, medicine demystifies hypnotherapy, and those are some facts that that hypnotherapy is also a powerful tool for learning to create new pathways in the brain, and congruent change, can happen with the sort of hypnotherapy practices and a medical practice that can increase performance assist in the healing process of childhood trauma, past hurtful events, even in dealing with grief. So we're going to discuss all about this, and before going for this discussion, let's take Adila Pretorius on board. Alaikum, Dr. Adila, how are you doing?
Walaikum salam. Alhamdulillah, khair. Thank you so much. And yourself?
Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I'm doing so well. And today we are live in my group that is Empowered Women. And let's see if somebody would like to, comment on that, so they can comment in the description box in the comment below. So then definitely Adila Pretorius will respond later or maybe right now. So, Dr. Adela, that we know that we have to discuss about hypnotherapy, and the general perception is just like, people, they think it, okay, you will go to the hypnotherapist and he will try to find out about your past and this and that and blah blah blah. They will find past, and people even they do not know other benefits as well if you just go in a broader spectrum. So if I would want you to tell my viewers as well about like this complete ethnopsychology, and after that, like, what is hypnotherapy, so would definitely like to listen in that for that.
Okay, fantastic. Yes, it's a broad question, and I'm going to answer it as in depth as I can. So let us start off with ethnopsychology, because that's really where the hypnotherapy fits in. As an ethnopsychologist, we first of all, ethnopsychology is, of course, a comparative study of different cultural and ethnic groups. What that means is that we do look at the spiritual, the ethnic beliefs of people, the background where they come from, especially from a spiritual perspective. As ethnopsychologists, we study abnormal psychology like the conventional psychologist, which of course gives us the scope to be able to deal with people that suffer with depression, anxiety, codependencies, etc. Then we also study critical psychology, which criticizes abnormal psychology. So within ethnopsychology, what that means is that as ethnopsychologists, like I said earlier, we do acknowledge the spiritual realm. That a person can get affected by, call it third forces, where let's say one person is jealous of another person. That is a form of energy that you are sending to another person, and that can affect that person. Then, of course, there's also other spell work that people do, and negative energies or negative entities that people engage with, and those are all part of the spiritual realm that can be very dangerous for people to dabble into. So that is one of the specialities within ethnopsychology. Then, of course, we study also African traditional medicines, counseling, holistic life coaching, as well as hypnotherapy, which again is almost like a course on itself within ethnopsychology. So hypnotherapy really, if we just break it down a bit, is that if we understand the word hypnosis, hypnosis is a form of where a person is in a very deep, relaxed, but natural state of being. So in other words, if you, just before you're going to fall asleep, you are actually accessing that hypnotic state, because your body is relaxed, your mind is relaxed, but yet you can have a laser focus on something specific that you need to resolve or that you want to work on. That means you have bypassed your critical faculty of the mind, and now you're just in flow. You're in flow of the subconscious mind, where there's a lot of answers to most of our problems in life. So really, hypnosis is being in a deep state, a natural deep state of relaxation, where we can create laser focus to hone in on a specific problem. And that is where the therapeutic side comes in. So how it works in practice is, if a person comes to us for hypnotherapy, we will help the body, the patient's body, to go into a relaxed state through a meditative process. Then we take them a step further, where we relax the mind. Again, meditative processes that we use. So we relax the body, then we relax the mind. And from there, when we see, okay, the person have bypassed the critical faculty, that is when they are ready to have that laser focus, where we hone in on a specific issue that the patient needs to deal with. So obviously, yes, there's an intake that has to happen first. We have to enter your map of the world. We need to enter and to see what happened in your life. So the first 1 or 2 sessions has got a lot to do with the intake, to really understand why is the patient coming to see you. And from there, when you assess what are the processes, the particular hypnotherapy processes that we need to use to help the patient. So that is in broad spectrum, what ethnopsychology is and how hypnotherapy slots into ethnopsychology.
Okay. All right. And you also mentioned about, like, how does it work? Of course, like, if you have, patients have to go to the hypnotherapist, and of course, like,
Sure.
and laser therapy, they would, deal the patients. Completely perfect, understandable. Now, my question is, suppose, can all people be hypnotized, or there are some people, this is for some people and not for other people? How can you, describe it?
Okay, so for some people, depending where they are at, some people are not ready for this type of processes, and they will naturally block it. Or if there isn't a good enough rapport between the therapist and the patient, and I say that because sometimes, if the patient is not ready, they are not going to easily go into that relaxed state of mind to be hypnotized. So it's very important that as a therapist and patient, there is that rapport, and that the patient also understands what are they coming to you for. If they're coming for hypnotherapy, if that is not what they want, then that person will be resistant to it. So yes, and many times for people that suffer with anxiety, severe anxiety, that's very tense, very stressed, they find it perhaps more difficult to relax the body, to relax the mind, and to go into that flow of the hypnotic state. So yes, hypnotherapy is for anybody and everybody that wants to go into that state. There must be a willingness. And yes, like I said, some people are more tense and more stressed. They will find it harder to go into the hypnotic state.
Okay. And sort of a general perception, people also think that, I mean, like, this is something like, they're under a spell, and
Mm,
some sort of myths are, around this hypnotherapy. So what
mm.
are those sort of myths which you would like to debunk, for my viewers? So then definitely like to listen.
Yes, thank you for the question. I'm glad you asked it. Yes, there are some terrible myths out there, and it all goes back to stage hypnosis, which really has given hypnotherapy to a large degree not such a good view to people or understanding, because remember, a a hypnotist also studies psychology, and he reads the crowd. He sees who wants to be on the stage. Remember, stage hypnosis is for entertainment. They want to entertain the crowd. So he will choose people, let's say the girl in her pretty dress that wants to be on the stage, or the guy with the buff muscles. They are playful and they want to be on the stage. And then you'll also find there's always 1 or 2 people that he can't hypnotize. because those people are really the ones that they're testing this, and they're not going to be part of the game. So stage hypnosis is really for entertainment. It's people that choose to participate in whatever instructions he gives. So that is one of the biggest myths, is that people are under a spell and they don't know what they're doing and they're all lost. No, you have absolute control. You know what you're doing. You are aware of what you're busy doing. So that's one of the biggest myths that I would like to just clarify. No, you're not under a spell. This is not hairy fairy stuff where you are on, going on a trip and you don't know where you are, what you're doing. Not at all. You are 100% in control. You are well aware. You actually have laser focus. So it's just that we in the hypnotic process, we relax the outer senses so that you're not focused on the sound in the room or your body on the bed or your eye that's itching. You completely relax, and then you have that laser focus on an issue that you're going to resolve. So you are actually hyper alert in that sense, if I can put it that way. So there's no such thing that you are out of control and you don't know what you're doing.
Okay. And there's some terminology I would like to share with you, like, some sort of cyclops vision sort of straw, if you can, discuss about it. What sort of this vision sort of straw, and people, they go into that, and what sort of benefits they can find out in that regard. And quasi-relax sleepiness, if you can also mention about it, because other people, they really do not know about this terms. If you can mention a little bit about that, so that would be also great for us to listen.
Yes. So to delve a little bit deeper as to how hypnotherapy really works and the benefits thereof is, let's say if we deal with inner child work or regression therapy, where a person has had past hurtful events in their childhood. Or in their recent, former years. It needn't just be in childhood, it could be in their teenage years or a few years back, unresolved issues that they haven't dealt with. So when we take the person into that hypnotic state, there's certain built-in steps, I can say, that we have to adhere to as therapists. The idea is when you then access that memory that is burnt into the nervous system because it was a traumatic event that caused emotional hurt and perhaps even physical hurt, and now it's lodged into the nerves of the person, is when we then access those memories, is we help the person to, number one, we give them a voice. Many times people have not expressed the hurt, the pain. How dare you do this to me? You had no right to hurt me like this. So that's what the first benefit. It helps people to express suppressed emotions, which is one of the major causes of depression, because if people don't talk about what is bothering them, it just piles up and it festers and it piles up. So we help people to then express those suppressed emotions, express the hurt, the pain, and allow the body to express. Let the tears roll, go in a fetal position and let the tears just come out, because the body is also holding that energy. So once the person have expressed and they let out this emotions, which is laden with energy, we then take the person onto a deeper level for them to see with the spiritual eye, what have they learned from this experience? What is the deeper spiritual meaning? Why did I have to go through that experience? So when they can see, oh, I actually learned from this experience self-respect or self-worth, also it raised my self-esteem because I'm not a naughty child, or whatever it is. When that realization, when that penny drops, that's when the meaning of the experience changes. So when you change the meaning of an experience, and now you realize, but I'm actually a very strong person, or I've got a lot of self-worth and value. Now you don't look at the experience with resentment and hurt and anger, because now when you change the meaning, you change the emotional attachment, how you feel about it. And that when you have reached that, that's when you've gained emotional intelligence, which is another benefit. And you've gained the wisdom in the wound, which you now can take in your backpack and say, I've learned this through my lessons in life. So it actually helps you to become and evolve as a spiritual being to a higher vibration, to a higher state of beingness. So yes, there are many spiritual benefits of that. It helps to heal past hurts. It helps people cope with depression or get out of depression, anxiety, and all these type of outward things. And of course, it can also then lead, once you have now released that hurt and you've gained the spiritual knowledge and the spiritual wisdom, what is the wisdom in this wound? Now it has a domino effect, because now you're not holding on to resentment and hate and anger. Now you can say in your heart, if you're ready, you can even forgive your perpetrator that have hurt you or harmed you, because forgiveness sets you free. It doesn't absolve them and make what they did right, but it sets you free, so you can move on with your life. And then obviously, when you don't have that negative drawdown and that negative energy, now you can focus on abundance. Where do you want to lead your life? So that release of that blockage of that negative energy is very important for our spiritual evolution and the raising of our vibration. So that's again, it's a lot of information, but those are really, hypnotherapy is really for betterment. It's for healing.
Yes.
It's for becoming a more spiritually conscious person, and then to lead a purpose-driven life. So yes, that is the aim of the work that I do.
Okay, that was an amazing information, you just, gave from your side. And I would say thanks a lot for coming today. And I'm going to end this session, but soon going to see you again for maybe a different topic, another topic. And Jazakallah khairan for coming. And
Shukran jazilan. I'm very humbled to be invited to your show. It's always an honor and it's always a pleasure. And yes, I will be definitely joining your group. If there's any questions people would like to ask, like I said just a couple of seconds ago, my aim in life is to help people heal their lives, to become more, in order for them to become more spiritually conscious, so that they can lead a purposeful or a purpose-driven life. And by all means, they're welcome to reach out to me. Shukran jazilan once again for the invite and for having me.
thank you so much. And we're looking forward to that and to the questions. And of course, a lot more thingies to be, coming up in my group and on my page and of course my channel. So once again, thanks a lot for coming. It's really worth it. And inshallah, going to see you soon again. Bye-bye from myself.
Shukran jazilan. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.